Finding Your Frequency. I'm Brian Sexton, and I'm joined on today's show by Eric Dawson, who works with Florie, which is a medical software company. What kind of a medical software company? First of all, hi, how are you?
Great to meet you.
Nice to see you.
Thanks for having me.
I'm glad to have you.
We're a patient engagement software company.
Okay.
So what that means is that we help healthcare providers, insurance companies, those sorts of entities communicate with patients, help them set appointments, help them chat, help them get educational content out to patients and members without ever having to make a phone call.
Listen, that's so important. I had some surgery a couple of months ago, and working with the hospital that I was working with, everything came through an app on the phone. That engagement part of it, though, was the key part. It made me want to be there on time.
Right.
It made me want to listen to all the instructions they gave me before the surgery. That engagement felt personal.
It is. And you were good enough to download an app. There are a lot of people who don't want to do that. So one of the things that sets us apart is we'll send you a text that doesn't have any medical information in it because it shouldn't.
Right.
But it has an encrypted link. It'll say, hey, Brian, your Dr. Smith has sent you this to read before your appointment. And there's a link that you can click, and that link is encrypted.
Okay.
So that way that information, which is more than just about Florie, right?
Right.
It's about getting the patient what they need, gets to patients in a way that's easiest for even, let's say, for all of the age groups in our society to be able to handle without too much trouble.
It sounds like you serve a couple of different customers, right? I mean, you've obviously got the hospital and the doctor. Mm-hmm. You've got the customer and the insurance company. I mean, how do you balance everybody's interests?
We spent years building a platform that's, I want to say, generic enough so that when you want to set up and we authorize you, and then you want to start communicating with your constituency, whether it's your patients or your members, they've already authorized you to communicate with them. Right. We just make that easier, simpler, for you to go about doing that. So the setup is really similar, whether you're a doctor, a big hospital, or an even bigger insurance company.
How big of a role is AI playing? I mean, it's a ridiculous question, right? Because AI is infusing almost every sector of the economy, and it doesn't even matter. But how big is it in medical? Because I know personal information is so private, and there's all kinds of laws to protect people. Right. How has AI influenced your business?
It has more on the content side. Okay. Because when you're sending something to a patient, we want that to be a human, both who triggered it and can take responsibility for it, right at the doctor's office, and someone who's going to monitor any responses that come back, any chats, questions, etc. Right. So we wanted that part to be human. We just want to make it much simpler and faster for whether it's a hospital who needs to communicate with 20,000 patients or a small medical office that just doesn't have the manpower to do their own content creation and sending it out there. And AI, we don't trust AI to send things or to sort of come up with solutions. We do trust them to generate content based on some prompts that you as a medical provider or insurance company may have given it. So we use it to help our customers do their own content creation if they want, so that then they don't have to spend a lot of money hiring a studio, and maybe they just want to make a quick video and send it out.
You bet. And I can tell you firsthand that video showing up made the whole process easier. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure getting everybody on the same page is what you guys do best.
It is. And there are a lot of medical practice insurance companies on social media trying to cultivate a following, and that's rough. What we do is we let you upload the database of patients or members that you're legally already allowed to contact and just build your own following right there. So we aren't really social media, but in a sense we're private social media, in that your patients or members can't communicate with each other. Right. You can talk to them, and you can build that following instantly. Okay. You just upload your a fraction of your database.
Brilliant. It's brilliant. Let's switch from your business at Florie to mine for a moment. Sure. Let me ask a couple questions. Everyone in life has a defining moment. What's yours?
Probably when I was right at the end of college and realized I didn't want to go to med school. Okay. The problem is you build all your way up towards that moment. Yeah. And then when you, at the last minute, realize it's not for you, there's a big, what do I do now? Yeah. What do I do now issue?
And you figured it out.
Slowly but surely.
For sure. Well, this may tie into that then. How about an obstacle, a challenge, something that looked like an insurmountable obstacle or a huge mountain at the time, but getting to the other side of it, you realize that helped define me?
This company.
Okay.
Software startups aren't the easiest if you didn't sort of grow up in or have connections within that world. And so as someone who, thought they were going to be medical the whole time and then switched more to business, got my MBA, but not necessarily in software.
Sure.
Yeah. So then jumping in there, what you find out is a lot of the funding companies and a lot of the opportunities are a little bit similar to just hiring, where word of mouth is as or more important than whatever it is you have to show at an interview or at a meeting or whatever. So it was a struggle at first. You start your own entity, and there are nights you lay awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering, what have I done?
Oh, right. Well, that's in life in general, right? Marriage,
Yes.
kids, the whole nine yards. How about a piece of advice for someone who is looking for a tip for success?
For me, it was there are several things that all of us can look at and say, I am really good at this. I'm better than most of the world. And this, and in my career, got a lot better when I started to just try to execute within that really small window.
Sure.
We're all okay at a lot of things.
Sure.
We like to think we're good at a lot of things. Really, we're okay at a lot of things. And when I started focusing on using what I was best at within the confines of this and just hiring or asking for help when I didn't, it made a big difference.
I think it was Abraham Lincoln who said that smart men know a lot about one thing, but it's the wise men who know a little about a lot of different things. The smart really plays off in the business that you're in.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm all that wise, except to say I've gotten a lot better at knowing what I don't know.
We're certainly smart enough for it. Eric, thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you having me.
And thank you for joining us here on the Daily News Network. We'll see you next time on Finding Your Frequency.